Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Space Engineers 2. I'm Duke Skylover. Ire, welcome. You beat the Streamlabs bot. So good work. All right, so we're here staring at the thing that I started building last week, and as I look at it, I'm getting huge Space Engineers 1 when you don't have a whole lot of experience with the game kind of vibes, like not your first ship, but like your second ship kind of thing. So as I've been thinking about this over the last week, I've had time to think about it. I definitely don't like these teeth sticking out. I think that's got to go. I wish I could make this just a little bit smaller of a cockpit. And I probably could, but then I'd have to like bring the slope in a little bit more. Like I can't really make it too much shorter. Because then I would hit my head on it. But I think we could make it a little bit shorter by bringing the cockpit back a little bit. And then essentially just kind of like lowering everything down a little. But if we go out and look, like there's not a whole lot we can actually lower it down if it's going to be resting on here. So we'd have to basically also lower this down a little bit. There we go. Streamlabs eventually caught up. Hey Fuse, welcome. So we're gonna take these teeth out and just kind of flatten that up there. And then I do think I am going to try and make this, I mean, even if I just take the design and just sink this whole thing down, like 2 small grid blocks. Is it couth to call them small grid blocks, or is it uncouth? Like if I have a, this size block, wait a minute, didn't I? Yeah, there we go. Versus this size. Is it okay to still call these like small grid and large grid? Is that okay? Do people do that? To differentiate. I gotta move my microphone. I can't see my keyboard. Okay, there we go. So I might just kind of pull everything down a little bit. Block and block junior. Block senior and block junior. And then the detail cubes are like block the third. So the question is, do I do that? Oh, like a little mouse hole right there. Over where the mice come in. They're like there we go. That's like the little, that's how the mice get in and out. Baby and daddy blocks. I love it. And don't fall off of there. Yeah. I think I might do that just because it. The other thing that I want to do is, at the very least, mark out how I want the rest of the ship to be, because it's going to be a pretty big ship. Now, I have no idea what happened to the screenshot that I was using as my inspiration. So that's kind of gone. But I kind of feel like the main body of the ship would go out to about there. Now, from about here to maybe, like, let's say here, we're going to start going out. And that might be, I think that's too far. So it's a good thing that I lost the image, because I don't want to stick to it too much. I kind of want to make it my own thing in just kind of the shape, Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a realistically sized thing. Are these both? Yeah. The thing is that, like, a Y-wing would be a fairly large ship, although this is going to be bigger because it's not like a cockpit. It's like a room with a cockpit. So it is kind of scaled up. It's like how it's like if you played Elite Dangerous, and I've referenced Elite Dangerous a couple times on this stream. If you played Elite Dangerous, for long periods of time and you start to actually look at the ships, it's very clear that they designed the ships to be much smaller and have like single person cockpit seats. And then when they put them in game, they scaled them up really big and the cockpits became rooms that they then put seats and desks and consoles in. And so a lot of them from the outside, they look like they should be smaller, but they're actually much larger. And I kind of feel like this is that. Like if you were sitting way back, you might look at that and be like, oh yeah, that's the cockpit, you know, and you would just be sitting in that, but then you get up close to it and you're like, oh no, that's like a whole room with a seat in it. That's how all the original Elite Dangerous ships are. I don't know if they're still like that, like the newer ones that they've added, but that's how they all started. So yeah, I'm not as much of a fan of this as I was, but I'm going to press forward because, you know, it could turn out to be something, you know, really good. So, so like a Y-wing-ish. We're just going to scaffold out some stuff. So I don't think we're going to go out that far. I don't need all this. But if we went from like here, you know, I'm just trying to think of like where my supports would be. It's not going to go out that far, but thinking maybe like you know, and then we have our you know, our two, you know, our two engines that are going to go further back than this. I think that could be good. And then we kind of greeble this up a little bit. I might need to go find some reference for greebling on a Y-wing, but I think that could be about right. And then I think what we're probably going to end up doing is kind of sloping this into this with as best of a curve as we can get, which I don't think we're going to get much of a curve out of it, but we'll see. If we did lower this down, then I don't really need these stairs as much as I like these stairs. Yeah, that would be good. Would be good. So what would we need to do to lower this down? We'd need to take out... See, I think we'd need to redo this kind of like skirting on the outside. Because what we're really talking about is basically taking this cockpit and putting it on the floor. Which... I don't know. How hard would that be to do? So we'd have to basically just kind of take this and push it out what I assume is like 1 or 2 grid blocks. I don't know, is that worth doing? Can I just put a plank there for me to walk on maybe? Yeah, let me deal with these because I know that I don't want these anymore, so let's get rid of these and it'll give me time to think. Think, Duke, think. Alright, now I deleted something here that I didn't mean to. I think it's a... something like this. I think that was that there. Yeah. Yeah. Then we could just take this and do... No, we can't. There's something in the way. Okay, something like that. There we go. So now it's still an interesting kind of a stair-steppy shape, but better than before. Now the other option, of course, would be to just mimic the actual top there, but all right. Maybe we ignore the front cockpit for now, because it didn't give me nearly enough time to think. Let's work on the back. Now, the other option, of course, is that we could abandon this plan entirely and go for something that does use, like, an actual cockpit seat, which I think we only have the one, right? So, there's my experimental bar. So, like, we could go for something like this. Is there a bigger one? No, it's just the one size, right? Because cockpits don't need a... there's no different size of a cockpit. Yeah, so we could do something like that. Build that in to the front, and then maybe do something to kind of look like there's some bigger cockpit behind it, and then our little Y-wing would be a little bit of a more reasonable sized top. I think I might do that. I think we're going to build next to it. We're going to make a new thing and build next to it here. We're going to go right off of our grav gen here. Go. Maybe that's a bad idea because of the mirroring on this entire grid. But I have an even better idea then. We're going to just use the back of this ship. Make a new ship. We're going to go like that. Get rid of this. Because this is creative mode. Which means the game isn't the only thing in creative mode. I'm also in creative mode. So, we could start fresh here and try and do a something similar. Or, you know what, we could even actually, instead of doing that, we could just rip the top off of this and reuse the top of it. I don't hate the front of this. I think it could be better. But I don't hate it. Oh, Game Dork is here and Rev is here. Welcome, folks. We're trying to decide what to do with the front of this ship. Because I don't like the way it turned out last time. Let me get so that red doesn't come up. It's too big. So the question is, do we rip the top off and do a smaller seat and then make the front of it smaller? You know, the whole front of this ship smaller, or do we just completely start over fresh? You know, with this. I was thinking starting over fresh, because I do kind of like the, there are bits of this that I like. Yes. Guys, don't forget Ira is here too. Alright, what's the front of this going to look like then? Something like, there we go. I wanted to boost for a second. When I fall off of here, does the boosting help? Hold on, I'm going to do a quick test. Wait. There we go. Oh, boosting only goes forward, that's right. Perfect. Creative mode. Alright. We're going to forget all of this stuff. And Phil is here. Hi Rev, hi Duke, hi Game Dork, hi Ire, hi Fuse. I think that actually covers everybody. Alright. So, if we were to start with something like this. Okay, that's our start. Beginning of our ship. It's very tiny. And off the screen. So let's build around it. Now, where's our connect? So we have a big connector on the back, big connector on the bottom. You can't enter through the back anymore, can you? You can only enter through the front. Okay. So you got a little connector on the front, big on the bottom, big on the back. I kind of want to do something, and I don't know if we have the right, but almost do something on the back of it. Yeah, of course. This doesn't, yeah, there's no. I was thinking it'd be nice to be able to do something on the back of it that kind of made it look like the cockpit was a little bit longer, or like maybe there's like a second cockpit behind it, but I don't think, as far as I know, I think the windows are going to give me trouble with that, just because they're not the right size. Why can't you just let me see a window in front of me? This won't work, right? We had the same problem. Yeah. Well, that's... We don't have any other window blocks, right? Nope, I think that's it. Yep, okay. Well, then, the only other option then is to maybe do, use paint, essentially. Like if we did, there we go. Couldn't remember the button for painting. Oh, I don't have a paint. Here, wait, can I go? I gotta put a paint gun on my... I have to put a paint gun on my toolbar. But if we did something like this, and then maybe a bunch of detail cubes. Was this the color we were using before? No, it was this one? Yes. Yes. Alright, if you're looking far away, does it look like there's an extra seat behind it? Or does that just look silly? I think it looks silly. I think it looks silly. Paint gun. Yeah, I think that just looks silly. Okay. Let's get rid of this. We'll just build in. Let's see. Welcome in. ST. Oh, I'm going to mess that up. Hold on. I'm not going to attempt it. I know I'm going to mess it up. Welcome to the stream. I'm trying to think. If we did... Oh, I know this block has messed up mirroring. Okay, we're not going to do that. Gonna put this here temporarily so that I could just see, have like a little thing there. NASA did indeed launch Artemis 2, and I watched it. Well, I didn't watch it. I watched video of the launch from like a million different random people's cell phones. It was very cool. That's not what I want. How big is a daddy block? It's 5, right? It's gonna be too big. Okay. Very deep in thought at the moment. Wait. Yeah, like, so what I was going to attempt to pronounce was like a Nguyen. But I was not entirely sure if that was correct, and I did not want to be. Even though I just went ahead and did it anyway. That's how much I appreciate you here. I'm not going to mispronounce your name. I'm going to avoid it altogether. That looks bad. Sometimes when I think there's too much flat space, then I just like to push it forward slightly. That looks a little bit better. It gives it a little je ne sais quoi, you know? Yeah. Something like that. Now we could just do the rest of the... I mean, that basically, that's the ship right there. We're good. What's a front gonna look like? Like a... I think I still want to have... cannons on the very front. So where are we gonna put those? Where are we gonna put them? Maybe actually this at the bottom should do something to come out this way so that I can get a little more room in the front. But if I'm gonna come down, if I want to get the... Oh, well, what if the turrets... No, they're not turrets. Sorry, what if the Gatlings were... Let's see, these do have a port on the side, if I recall, right? Yes. Yes. Come on. Come on. Am I in the way? There we go. All right. So if we could do that like straight out of the front there. That'd be okay. And then we would just throw in... Oh, I just Space Engineers won that thing. There we go. I like how much the conveyors in this game don't have a... Oh, they auto-snap to conveyors. Yeah, that makes sense. Anyway, I was going to say, I like how much the conveyors are square and you can attach things to the sides of them. And how they, like, feel like a full block. Like, you almost can't tell. I mean, if you didn't know what you were looking for, you wouldn't know that there was a thing there. So, which is very cool. Yeah, now we can pull back a little bit here. Keep that going there. Then think about how we want this to go. Do we want it to go... I'm thinking I might do a... might need a better attachment point here for a second. Kind of like that. Now I'm wondering, did I put the cannons too high up? Or should I move them down one? Should I have the... Yeah. I like that, except that's where I'm attached now. That's okay, though. I don't need to remove that. Okay. So I'm going to take... This is a curved... Then we'll put our fella right here. There we go. Yeah, that looks good. And then we could just take this and or if I just do that, save a little space there. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. Alright, good. I think maybe right around here we need to branch out a little bit. So we are... do like that. Maybe that should be one closer to the front. Yeah, this is looking better so far. Seems significantly more compact than the previous rather large and roomy cockpit. Although if I was going to be in space for a really long time, I'd imagine I probably would want this. We don't have bed yet, right? Oh, we do have bed. Oh, yeah, okay. Hang on. Because if I had wanted to, I could have made this like an apartment, you know? I mean, no, not right there. That covers up the mouse hole. Yeah, we could have had a little... I can't sleep in it, though. You know, sleep over here. You're under attack. You get up, you run over to here. Fly yourself around or whatever. Yeah. They're just shaking. No, it's just the camera. Okay. Alright, back to this one. I think this is looking better. It's going to be a nice little, tiny little space fighter. I like it. Alright, what can we do on the bottom here? We could go... No. No. What? I don't think we yet have the block that would go there. Oh, wait. Wait. Let's see. That would go... No. No. We could do something interesting, but I don't think this is what I was thinking. We could do that. Oh yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. Okay, never mind. We're good. Do I have the block for this, though? I think I do, because we would just do this, and then throw on another one of those. I love these. How you can stack these blocks up. Unified grid. Good idea. Whoever came up with that. Next time you guys talk to Merrick, tell him good idea. Good idea. Now, how am I gonna take that into here? Are we gonna have to do... Yeah, I guess that's what we're gonna have to do. Yeah. That's not bad. Not bad. Schnot. Okay. Beautiful. Alright, and I do think we need to, now that I've done that, flare out again around here. I think one of the things I'm struggling with is I haven't yet found a good reason to have large grid blocks, the daddy blocks, you know? Like, in my mind, I kind of assumed that, you know, we would build, you know, imagine building in large grid in Space Engineers 1, and then being like, and now I'll just, you know, right where I need to, I'll just use smaller blocks, and that's great, but except that I never want to build with large blocks. Like, is the red ship made primarily with large blocks? Probably is, actually. Yeah, see, like, that's kind of how I assumed I would build, but then oh, don't look there, I shot that with stuff. Yeah, then I just kind of assumed I would use small grid details like this in my building, but I never really want to. I want to just be tiny and detailed the whole way. So maybe if I want to get into the real Space Engineers 2 building aesthetic, I should be using, for a large grid ship, this isn't going to be a large ship, but for a large ship, that's what I should be doing, especially for PCU. But right now we're just going to be concerned with having a small fighter. Maybe then eventually we will make a large ship and it could be like a carrier or something for my tiny little fighter that I'm making. I'm still going to make this kind of Y-wing shaped. You know, it's still going to have like an engine pod section and stuff. I might try to put the up and down thrusters in the main body. Forward and back can be in the, what would you call them? The engine pods? Sticks? I don't know. And then side to side, I don't know, we'll figure something out. We don't have... let's see, I would have to get into detail blocks, I think, if I wanted to take that shape straight up. Because that's... Yeah, that's a 25... That's a 2.5 centimeter. A 25 millimeter space. So I'm not going to bother with that. I think that looks okay as is. Yep. Alright. Then... I don't know, do I want this to be... to carry on like this? Front pod. Sure. Sure. What if I was building this for real? I guess I am. What other things would I actually put in here that are in the game already? I would want, now maybe I want this to be a hydrogen and ion ship, right? We got hydrogen thrusters, right? I know we do. I don't know why I'm asking. Maybe we want a hydrogen tank in here, and then I'd have to run conveyor out to the... So I'm thinking maybe hydrogen just pointing back, you know, for forward thrust when you need it. Yeah, an O2 gen. Do we have that? Do we have an O2 gen? We don't have... We just did get oxygen tanks, though, right? Because, yeah, oxygen tank. Because now we have atmosphere, so... Definitely gyros, yeah. I'm trying to think of just what else. Let's put gyros on the... I might already have that on the toolbar some. Why can I not? Can't change my toolbar from here. That's weird. I guess we'll put it there. Gyros. And then we'll put lights on it eventually. You know, I originally did want to do something that involved rotors and pistons, something that involved subgrids. And I kind of threw that plan out the window originally just because I was already struggling with just the general shape of stuff. And I can't really think of a good way to put a subgrid on a Y-wing, you know. Or pretend it's not a Y-wing, pretend it's just some sort of like a fighter ship. I mean, we could do some sort of unfolding engine thing. Does this game... Hey, here's a question for you all. We don't have remote controls yet. Yeah. What was this thing that came up here? Hold on. Rotate something and... Oh, remove voxels, yeah. Thrusters on a subgrid. Do they work or not? I'm going to assume they don't. But have you all tested that? Let's take this out, because then we could go... you know, let's just do... Let's do, like... Boy, there's no good way to just, like, take a large grid conveyor and, like, shift it down one, right? They work, but weirdly. Hmm. Oh, you know, we could do like a pop-up turret on like potentially on a piston right here or something. And just have it go like something like that. Um, do they? Oh, this thing didn't. All right, now I got to remember how to turn mirroring off for a second. There, I figured it out. What was this that I put in here? It was a... It was the opposite of this thing. Which was that thing? Yes. Yes? It looks like it. Yes, okay. I only test Ayer's resolve in my streams. I like that. Yeah, I wonder if we could. Okay, so uh so we could actually we don't need any sort of large grid conveyor connection. So we could actually go from the bottom uh of the Gatlings here, and then where's the... Yeah, there we go. Right? Yes. Then go back this way. And then that way I could do we have some sort of we have some sort of converter, right? Adapter. Yes. So I could go back and then adapt back into large. Or do these things have? Oh, they have small connectors on them. We could maybe just have them lined up this way. Or we could have them lined up this way. Either way. A Davenport. So let's see. I think the problem at the moment is that I've kind of made this the bottom of the ship, and that I'm probably going to need to come up with another layer of armor to go under there, but we could go... I don't know if I've got the right... button did I just hit for that? So I think the problem with piston is if I put a piston inside the ship and I need to wire it in, I need to pipe it in for the gun that's going to be on the bottom of it, we don't have a lot of vertical space. Oh yeah, plus the turrets are only come in one size. Is that true? That is true. Right? There's only one size of turret, yeah. It was originally going to be on this one, which made a lot more sense from physical size. So, yeah, I don't think putting a turret on here is going to work out. However, I really like the music in this game. Did I do that right? Look in the hole? Yeah, we're good. Yeah, that's fine. You guys just talk to yourselves. You don't need to talk to me. I'm just here to provide the excuse for you all to hang out together. All right, so the good news is We have all this space back here, now that I have shifted this down one. And we can put all sorts of lovely things like a gyroscope, which I probably only need one of, I'm assuming, for something this small. What else would we even put in there? We could do, you know what we could do is we could make the wings like retractable. I bet you there's a good way we can make the wings retractable. I would like to experiment with that. We're going to experiment with making the wings retractable. So let's not bother with oxygen tank. Let's bother with, which one was the, okay, hydrogen tank. Let's bother with hydrogen tank. Maybe we'll bother with, how much is a hydrogen tank called? I have no sense of whether this, oh, there's a bigger one, isn't there? There's a much bigger one. I don't think this one is going to be the correct size for us. There is this one. Oh, you know what? This could actually be part of our wing structure. Hmm. Hmm. Oh, are we adding in? Was that a quote you just? No, when did we add that quote? I don't even remember adding that one to my quotes. It's not wrong though. So okay, so let's do that then. So I guess I don't even need this a whole adapter structure. I could do. We'll get rid of you. We'll get rid of you. We'll keep that going for the run through there, and we'll just maybe put the O2 gen on the straight on the back there, and then we'll cover over it, and then we'll go out the bottom. Yeah, I like this idea. This is a good idea. Whoever had this idea. Conveyor straight out to there. Shoop. We will. How are we gonna cover? How far back is the cockpit going to go? Let's assume that I'm gonna put a gyro like right there. If I have subgrids, are they in this game, like, do they make the ship a lot harder to control like they do in SE1, where like now the gyros have to work like twice as hard to move this like disconnected mass around? Like, in other words, if I'm going to have wings on subgrids, do I need more gyros, or is one probably okay? Because I could fit a ton of gyros in here. I could read chat messages out loud if you'd all prefer. I usually just kind of internalize them and assume that anybody who's watching the stream later is also going to read the chat. Gyroscope, gyroscope, gyroscope. Are these not facing the same direction? Is that why they're not animated the same? Or do they actually not time the same? Alright, I'm going to leave all three of those in there. I'm going to assume that's ridiculous overkill. And, Fuse cast everything. See, sometimes I do read things out loud. Fuse cast everything as... I cast everything as an edible prop. Had to restart my PC. I have no idea what you're saying there. I mean, I understand the individual parts, but together I don't know what you're saying. Okay, so let's say we're going to take the front of this and maybe kind of stretch this back. You know, it's occurring to me that I could have, instead of doing this, we could have done this, and like not as a step, but as more of a, you know, like a two-step, like this. Maybe that would look better. Or would that look better? Yeah, because we're already there, and we don't have... Oh, we do have that. Right. Yeah, we could, let's do a quick thing here and see. Is that more or less interesting than the way it was? Maybe it needs a combination of both. Is Yeah, one thing I do love about Rev is and I mean this with love, the the Ron Burgundy effect, you know, where they could put anything on the teleprompter and he would read it out loud without thinking about it. I'm Ron Burgundy? Damn it, who put the question mark in the teleprompter? Anyway. I just assumed you fell asleep halfway through. I even read this chat out loud. How does a... And that was it. Alright, what if we cut this? I know I'm like bike shitting here, and I really should focus on the important bits. But what if we did this? Okay. Now follow me. And then back to here like that. That's better. That's good. Then it's not so much of a... It's not stair-steppy. You know, it doesn't look blocky, but there is a progression of progress. You know. Yes, 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 yes. Does this... Well, that startled me, I'm going to be honest with you. You got me on that one. Does this need to change? Can this change? Is it capable of change? What would I need? I would need a... no. No, I need like this, but with the top cut off. So that would be like a... Like, no, not like that. I guess I don't have what I need, so I'm going to go back to this one. I don't even think I could composite that together the way that I would need it to be. So we're going to leave that like that. Yeah, that's pretty much all we need there. We're going to do another layer underneath it later. Then on the back, let's kind of close this up a little bit with these things. And you mean to think with... I get the reference, but you mean to think with like composite blocks, like compositing all the... Yeah, I know, right? Like I keep looking for the block to fit the spot when I could be like I'm really trying to avoid using the detailing cubes to create like the exact shape that I need, because I think I actually could, but I really, for the... I don't know. Like I really want to save these for when I go back and do like actual detailing work over it, as opposed to using a ton of them to... I don't know. I just feel like that. I feel like I want to avoid... I don't know. I don't know. So I'm trying to think of what a So what I was trying to do here was get it so that this line takes until the middle of this block to get there, and I don't think there's a way to composite that together, is what I'm saying. Yeah, so that it's parallel with this line. But let's think. Let's think. So maybe I'm wrong about this. This is the... So, yeah, I need a block that would go from this shape to that shape. And I don't think such a thing exists. Although... Oh, no, that's what I had before. It's like, huh? Oh, no, it actually does. But that doesn't mean that we can't figure out some other way to make it work, you know. We could try. Okay, so yeah, we got that far. Oh, I'm eyeballing that. Let's see. Well, we got there. We got there. Did it look goofy on the other side? What? Yes, okay. There we go. We figured it out. The one with the NPCs in the stations. Oh, I have a legitimate reason to use detailing blocks. Is there a block that's like two of these next to each other already? Trying to remember. I don't think there is, right? No, I don't think so. Well, I have a legitimate reason to use a detail cube in a build. So there we go, detail block. All right. It's in the half block one. It's in here. Hold on, scrolling through. Oh yeah, there it is. Okay. I thought there was. I thought there was. Otherwise, I wouldn't have asked about it. All right. Now, what do I want to do to kind of seal that? Where do I want this to end in the back? I think I want there to be like a neck, like right about there. So that would be... I'm trying not to fill in the entire thing with blocks. And then... yeah, let's just kind of scaffold this out a little bit. So we'll have a little neck. And then the main body... no. Let's not. Let's keep the... Does the main body need anything? Do we need... because otherwise we'll just do our wings sticking out from like right here. I don't have any other reason to put anything into anywhere, do I? No, I don't think so. What I am going to need is to figure out where our hydrogen lines are going to come out. Or in other words, where's our... So let's say I want to try and pull these in to roughly, well, as close in as we can get them. So let's say we did that. And then here we're going to prototype a little bit here. We're going to do the small ones. Is that the right way? Like that. So that's how far in they'll get pulled. But if we're going to do a hydrogen tank that's this big... Nope. I once got a hydrogen tank this big. We did a hydrogen tank this big on the end of it. That would be rather long. So even if we connected it in, the closest it could pull them in. So we'd have to have the... If I want... Oh, I'm trying to visualize this for a second here. Let's get rid of these for a second. So if I want my hydrogen tanks to be able to be the tip of the wing, and they can be pulled in all the way, then the connectors for the wings would have to be at least right there. And I don't think I like that. It's awfully big. So what, we could do is, instead of that, we could do... So what I'd also kind of like to do is we could use small ones like this and just put them in a row, and they could just be like the first, maybe like 2 or 3 of them in a row, and that could be like the... In other words, if we did something like this, then we put our hydrogen there, right? And then, put our big hydrogen thrusters here. Put, let's see. I was going to put like a forward-facing ion on the front. And then we would just kind of put some greebling over this. Not over the whole thing, but over just like enough to give it the Y-wing type structure. And then we'd have our pistons right here that could push in and out. And then we'll make some sort of a interlocking mechanism so that when they come together, it looks correct. And then when they split apart, it still kind of looks like... I don't know if that makes sense. That's kind of what I'm thinking. How far back would we need them to go, though? That's the question. So, where's my medium ions? Where's ion? Ion thruster, 1 meter. I just want... Here, movement. Give me that. Give me all your movements. That came out weird. Atmospheric ion. Give me that. Give me that. That's too big. Alright. There we go. So if we were going to put this on the back of that, and then something like this. Let's see. So I guess if we push back just one more, this could theoretically slot in there, and then we could just angle the armor so that this doesn't damage it when it's pulled in together. That could work. And then I was thinking maybe we would just do one more ion, like, right in the back there in the middle. Oh, you know what this thing needs? Sorry, the thing is not very responsive. It needs a reactor of some sort. Or a battery or something. Reactors are large, huh? That makes sense. We don't have teeny tiny reactors, though, huh? Yeah, we do need some way to power this thing. So... that's too big. I mean, we could... if we expand the size... it's just going to be... I mean, it could be part of the structure in the back here, but... then we'd basically be taking this front part and, like, making it really big to go out and meet it. And also there would be a place where there's, like, a control panel. Well, what about batteries, then? Patties. Suit battery, big battery. Because we could do... we could probably do 2 of these in here and still make them somehow accessible for us to swap the chunks out, if you know what I mean. Where's the top? Stop doing that for a second. There we go. Maybe we could put them... we could kind of rearrange this a little bit and maybe put them right behind this. Yeah, I found your batteries, Rev. Turns out they were right here. Yeah, what if we did... here, hold on. Yoink, yoink, yoink. What if we did... yoink. Something like that. Is that sitting up? Yeah, it is. Okay, so what if we did something like that? How much battery do we need for something like this with ions? Probably 2 of these, I would assume, right? Could put one in the back, maybe. Or we could just stack 2 of them together right back here. And then leave this top part open so that I can swap the module in and out. And then bring that down. I think this is going to get pushed back a couple of blocks so that we can have a little bit more room on the front. I'm going to leave this like this. Let's get rid of all this. I'm going to leave that like that for now. Boy, I've been going like an hour and I am so thirsty. Let me get this red off the screen here and take a drink of water. If you all are liking the stream, please consider liking the stream. And if you would like to get notified when I go live, please consider subscribing. That's good stuff. Rev, how's your day been? Calm down a bit? I'm checking the weather real quick here because there's like tornadoes near Chicago and stuff, and I think it's going to completely miss me. Good for me. One of those weird days where the bad weather comes in and misses me entirely. It can just miss me with that. That's what the kids say. Alright, going back. I'm thinking about that far ought to be good. Some blocks could not be built. Well, I didn't separate the grid, because the... but why could some blocks not be built? That's a really good question. Is it... oh, you know why? I know why. It's just saying that because I'm mirroring on the line, I bet. Okay, there we go. Then we'll have this there. And then hydrogen, hydrogen. I guess I'm going to manually mirror this. I could copy and paste it later. Maybe I will. copy and paste it later. But for now, we'll just manually mirror it. Alright, so... and do that. Then on the front of this... Now, I guess if I got the room... No, I'm going to go this way. Oh, wait, can we center it? We could center it. Ooh, what looks better, this or this? This. It is centered, right? Yeah, it is. Nice. Alright. So we're going to have basically hydrogen for blasting forward, and probably way too much hydrogen for blasting forward. Come on, buttons. Yeah, that'll be better. Okay. And then I'm going to try and fit some additional up and down thrusters, probably small ones, in the body here. But where am I going to put side-to-side thrusters? I could put them... So what this is going to do is, and maybe I need detail cubes for this, but, you know, like it's a Y-wing, right? So like it's got a thing that extends way back like this, however far back it goes. I made this too far back, I think. I think I did. Not that. I didn't make that too far back. I made this too far back. I should finish this shape so that I can see where I need to land with this. Yeah, I think we're going to do... Oh, good question. Good question, Duke. I'm glad you said that in your head and not out loud for other people to understand what you're thinking. I'm going to attempt something like this. This actually isn't what I wanted to attempt, but it looks okay anyway. So yeah, so that'll be that. So then... What's the damage cone of one of these things? Does anybody know? I can't move when I'm not attached. Or can I not move because they're on subgrids? I can easily determine that answer real quick. Not a subgrid. Yeah, because I'm a static grid. Okay. Just confirming. Just confirming. So, I can definitely bring it up probably 1 or maybe 2. And we're probably fine. I don't have a good way... Oh, unless I could do a override on the ions. Now, is this going to destroy blocks in creative or not? Okay, well that's good. Good so far. Do they not destroy blocks yet? They definitely seem to be upset about having a block in front of them. This seems like, though... Yeah, so there's no thruster damage yet. That makes sense. But this seems like the fact that it is doing that animation implies that this is where the thrusters will be damaging it once thruster damage is in place. So I'm going to just make that assumption to kind of future-proof this. But that here... Yeah, they definitely... Oh, I could be wrong about that. Oh, maybe that's me. It's doing it to me. Yes, I'm I am the fire now. If we were to go from here, do we get it? Yes. Okay. So that's, I guess the real question is, what about if this was here and this was here? Okay, so we're going to kind of mimic, we're going to mimic this a little bit. So let's say we have this right here, because that would be essentially moving it forward one, and it looks fine. Okay, we're gonna roll with it. We're gonna roll. What did I do? How did I, what block was here? That was was that, I think? Okay. So, goodbye. Goodbye. Ah, good, that sound effect finally left. Nope. Conveyor. T-junction, there we go. Okay. And there we go. So we should be good to put an ion, like, right there. But I don't think it'll damage anything when it's pulled in all the way. Okay. Okay. And then I want another one there. And then I need, we're going to have some little ones. So is this two? Should this be up one? I feel like this should be up one from where it is. Because the center line of the ship is... Well, the center line of the center... Yeah, okay, so this is going to have another layer underneath it. So the center line of the hull is technically this. Once I get the last layer on it. So maybe that is correct. It just looks weird given that there's this up top. I almost feel like it should go up. I could put... we don't have hinges. I was going to say I could put a hinge on the end and they could rotate up. And we can go really crazy with it, but... I don't think so. The one thing I could do is actually... We could throw some temporary thrusters all over this thing. And I could just disconnect it now. And then... we will... go from there. So... I think I'm going to do that. I think I took out my gyros, though, so I'm going to put those back in. Where did I put the gyros? Let's just put one in there. Yeah, rotors are more complicated gyros. I would have to go rotor... If I wanted to... Technically, I don't even need this, because the hydrogen is all here. Well, I guess I do need it to be piped up just because the... O2 gen is over here. And if I'm using that to refill, although now that I think about it, I have no idea I have no cargo on here at all, so where would I even put the... Where would we even put stuff? You know? The stuff. Now I'm thinking... I have a thought. I have a thought. Those can stay there for now. You go away for a second. You go away for a second. Argo. Uh-huh. Cargo. Then... O2 gen. Then batteries. That's not a battery. This battery? Batteries. This... I can't see. Batteries, like... I want it on that side. Like that. And then we would just leave the... Leave opening here and here. And then we could even do... Let's do our... No, I got rid of my batteries. My batteries. Where's the thing? Can this go over one? Or are we... No, I'm rotated. Oh, maybe I can go over one. Hang on. Oh, I can. Okay. Like that. So we could even do maybe get our side thrusters up in there. And then our up thrust could be... I don't know, I'll have to figure it out. Temporarily, up thrust is going to go right here. Oh yeah, that's true. That is a thing. It is my... Control Z is my best friend. I could also maybe do, because we got 3 on the bottom. Could do that. And that could be interesting once it's armored over. I don't know if it'll be enough. Okay, let me just double check here. So I got top, side to side, top to bottom. This isn't nearly enough side to side thrust, but we'll figure that out later. Top, bottom, forwards, backwards. And we have a gyroscope or no? We do not. Gyroscope. Okay. Let's... So I may want, then, to move this up. I think I'm going to want to move this up 1, but we'll do that later. First, we're going to break free of the other ship. And I think I need to reset up mirroring here. Oop, that's not how you set up mirroring. Okay, we're back. Okay. Oh, okay. So backwards thrust is not functioning. Side-to-side thrust functions. Forward thrust only functions with the one in the back there. But those 2 on the front, on the things, are not functioning. Also, this thing looks dinky, and I kind of like it. I was thinking actually I was going to design one nacelle and then just copy it and paste it on the other side when I was done. But I wanted to have like a structure there. So we will do that. But at the moment, I cannot control the thruster on the other side. And also I'm stuck here. So I cannot reverse. None of the thrusters on the pods are currently working. The O2 should be... Well, even these front ions, these are the things that would be pushing me backwards. They're not functioning. I can't control them. In other words, I should say, I can't control them from here. The hydrogen not being piped up also seems to be a problem, because these are not doing anything. Hey, Monty. Yeah. So, but why are we also not... Why are we not getting... Because that's piped to there. This has a conveyor in it. This is conveyored through there. This conveyor goes into here, which runs into which, oh, this is complicated. It runs down through here into the Gatlings, which are piped up in the top into the cockpit, which is then connected through this. Oh, did I put this on backwards, maybe? It should be piped up through that cargo. It's possible I put this on backwards. Oh, it's a small connection. Ah. Okay. Well, heck, I've had this connected the wrong way this whole time, then. Okay. Well, that's going to require me to... So do they not expect us to put bottles directly into it, or are the bottles small conveyor in this game? We have the bottles now, don't we? Or not? No, no, we don't. Not the inventory bottles, I don't think. It wouldn't have been in that menu anyway. Well, I could put an adapter in there. It would take a good extra bit. I'd have to push everything back. Or, what's the other option? The other option is that it somehow ends up in line here, and I don't think that's going to be a possibility, because then we'd have to run around it. Alright, so we could push the batteries back. I still have no sense as to whether two big battery banks like this with one cell is enough. Oh, I need a lesson on power, on batteries. So is it compared to... Okay, so we got this big thing, right? We also have this little thing, which holds a single power cell. Both of these hold a single power cell. Does this one just, the bigger one just drains it faster and can output more power? Is that the deal? And then this one is like the multi-bank, which can do even more? Is that the deal? I've always wondered that. I assumed that was the case from playing it in survival. Never actually looked into it. Does it say in here? Block with swappable power cells. Yeah, it does not tell you. Yeah. Oh, they don't use the same thing? Oh. They don't? I can't do... Isn't that the same thing? Like, you take the power cell out, and then I could swap it. Now I have two powers. Oh, no, you're right. Power cell, power module. Yeah, as always, you are correct, Ire. You are correct. Now I get it. Okay, so this thing is going to just have... It's less power. Okay. I got you. The last horse crosses the finish line eventually. I got you. Okay. Yeah. All right. So, thrusters, what are we going to do with you? Oh. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that was how that worked. I didn't even set that up. This is me hitting the mouse buttons. Right, left mouse button. Right mouse button. Left mouse button. Right mouse button. Okay. Well, I think we'd have to set some sort of limit on how far out they go. Well, I have good news there. Now I can break free. The bad news is... Clang. Clang is, having some fun with the ship here. When I stretch them out all the way and move, it takes a while for it to come back. But if I lower my center of mass, then we settle down a lot faster, which makes sense. Which makes sense. Yeah, see, we're in, and when we go out, we start to get a little wobbly. Manual limits. Manual limits. So we're here. We're out. So I guess... Oh no, I can't stop. Hang on. Are the pods auto braking or no? Doesn't look like it. No. Alright, so I think we're gonna have to skip the moving pods. I think we might have to skip the moving pods. Because they don't yet function. Although I am wondering if I could get... Hang on. I'm curious, though. I just want to make sure. If I had an O2 gen on the actual, you know, where it could actually power stuff. Okay, so now those are flying. Let me put one on the other side for balance. Alright, so we got these things now. Just making sure. Yeah, I bet you they did. I'm just making sure that it's not the ions specifically. Yeah, so no, these are also not... They are not thrusting either. So. Okay. Hang on. Hold on. I'm not doing this. We're just gotta wait a minute. Okay. There we go. Okay, so I think we're gonna take these off and do some normally attached pods. We'll redo... Yes, thank you. Thank you, noisemaker. We'll redo this middle section so I can fit a O2 gen in here. And I don't really care if this extends back another bit. Let me turn the thing on here. So we're going to want a... Someone is outside my house honking their horn. They better not be calling me out. Alright, so we're going to put O2 gen here. Oh, and I took away my gyroscope. Where's my batteries? I cannot refer to my batteries anymore without making a rev reference. That's how it is. That's how it is. All right. Let's see. Where do I want to put the gyroscope? We can put the gyroscope there. And that should be, I think, plenty of gyroscope, huh? Maybe we'll do a little bit more. What's that? There we go. Maybe we'll do maybe we'll do 2 gyroscopes. This is going to get a little heavier. No, that's fine. I mean, that's not your misinformation. That's... If I had seen that video, which... Actually, now that you mention it, I did see that video. Yeah, that's misleading. That's misleading. But... Let's take you out here. Yeah, it's a bit misleading, but, you know. Whatever. Why am I doing this without mirroring? Alright, so I guess we're going to want our thrusters to be maybe that far out. Maybe one more. I almost made a clang drive just now. If that makes anybody feel better. Not a real one, but... Alright, is that going to be too far out? I don't think so. I think that'll be fine. I think that'll be fine. Because we're going to bulk. We're going to bulk that up a little bit. Just sounded like a chicken a little. It happens. Now, yes, okay. Turn this around. I want this to say hydrogen that way. Does the other one say that? Yes. Alright, well, at least I get symmetry building now. I still do want to have this. Oh, hi. Still do want to have this somewhere around, like, right here, but I may move that. Alright, so then if we're going to do... Let's see. We could potentially build up thrust. Let's see, I could build a little bit in right there. And we'll just leave a space for it. We are going to want a lot more side-to-side thrust, so I'm going to go there, but I'm going to... Oh, look at this. Oh, thank God. Okay. We could do that a little bit. Actually, I'm going to take out that last one so I have some space to slope down. That might be enough. I think I'm going to need more up. I'm going to need more up. I don't know where I'm going to put that. Oh. Hello. Where am I going to put? I need just like one more maybe on each side. Then for down, I think we're going to try and scooch them in right there. Because then that'll be flush with the actual bottom. Where could we get one more in? I could put it right here, of course, but then... No, I guess we could go... Could maybe go out one. Or I could... There we go. Problem almost solved. And actually, that's probably not even a problem, because I'm going to end up armoring around that anyway, so we'll end up taking those cubes out. But, alright, let me just make sure I got backwards, forwards, side to side, up, down. Let's take it for a spin here. Yep. How many gyroscopes did I put on? We need more. Definitely need more side-to-side thrust, but the back thrust, the forward thrust, is definitely moving. But yeah, we have no... like, we can't... We're gonna Tokyo drift everywhere we go, basically. Maybe it would be a good idea to put a little bit of hydrogen up and down in the... or a little bit of hydrogen-based up and down in the wing struts, you know? I want to break these windows, but I'm aiming low. Ah, good enough. Oh, this way. Seems fast enough. Alright, I guess we're going around the asteroid real quick here. Hold on. Yeah, I 100% agree with you. The 400 meter range for the Gatlings was actually a really good idea. Like, I think the Gatlings should have stayed closer to like the interior turret in purpose, and that we should have something more like an autocannon or I don't know, like a higher caliber Gatling that's for blocks. You know, like there's because you don't need to hit a you don't need to hit a person with like an armor piercing round. I assume. I mean, I'm not an expert, but so anyway, what I was thinking of taking another drink of water. Like and subscribe. Okay. Let me do let's see. I think what I want to do is that connect. I think that connected. I assume that connected. I'm going to assume that connected to that. That's green, right? Yeah. And then in there, we're going to put some up and down. And I was thinking maybe some forward. That's why I left these here, but I don't think I'm gonna. I do think I would love to figure out how to get some side to side in there without doing internal. But, yeah. Oh, that would be cool. I want weapons so powerful we consider using them as thrust. I mean, you can kind of do that. I mean, it technically works in Space Engineers 1. You just need to fire them for a really long time. Actually, does that work in here? I assume it does. They're just not super powerful. Hang on. I'm now convinced that Duke says like and subscribe every time he takes a drink. Even off stream, I am getting to that point yet. I'm not going to do internal thrusters. Not on... Even though it's a Y-wing, and Y-wings, you know, Star Wars ships typically only have visible rear thrusters. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. What do I want to do? I want to turn... Yeah, it doesn't seem like they are imparting any force to push me backwards, or at least not enough. I just wanted to see. I love how there's little bullet casings flying out of it, and they're just gonna like hit the interior of my ship, basically. Should we go shoot at the that cargo ship? Nah. Is there a button to reload? Or did you just have to... Yeah, so we're now definitely going up and down a lot faster. Oh, I should turn the brakes on. So that's good. Side to side, still a bit of an issue. Let's see. Severe thunderstorm warning. Hold on. It's probably nothing. Probably nothing. What do we got going on here? National Weather Service. Severe thunderstorms located along a line from South Shore. 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Expect damage to roofs and siding and trees. Okay, the usual. What's this look like on the radar? Sorry, I know this is very exciting. We will be done with the stream before that gets here, and I don't care. It's probably going to miss us. All right, so back out of the ship. So I think I don't really like where this is. I think we're going to move that back a little bit and give me a little bit more room back here. And then what else did I want to do real quick? We could do, I'm trying to think of a better way to do side to side thrust. And I'm wondering if we're going to do something that's like the long line back, if we could maybe also take a middle line and do like, hang on. Like, what if we took from here, either from here or from one of these. Probably makes sense to just go from there. And you cannot undo separating grids. That I knew. If anybody sees the wind god, tell him, knock it off. I'm gonna have to copy and paste that back on there. Let's get rid of this to make this a little bit easier on me. So I think what I'm gonna do is just get rid of this one, since these are the same. And let me kind of build out this side real quick. And then we'll go from there. So I think what I'm going to do is we're going to go straight for one. Then is this the cross, and then node. And then that's where we're going to paste our thing. So we're going to have our three. No, I take that back. I want my cross, node, straight. And then that's where we're going to paste. Oh. Is this because this thing's in the way? I'm assuming. Cross, node. Yeah, then we can't put that there because there's a thing there. So that's fine. So I'll move that in a second. Can I don't need partial copy. Can I just do... Yeah, okay. Oh, this is silly. There we go. So are we... The paste mirrored too? That's cool. Well, that worked out really well. Except no, it didn't. Because that wasn't what I wanted to do. I didn't save myself any trouble here. Cut you. I wanted to go... Yes, I understand what I meant to do. Cross, and then this T, and then paste. There we go. And then I wanted to go back this way with some, and we could even do a cross right there. And that'll be that. Actually, I don't want it to be right there. I think that's going to be too close. We're going to do a straight one, and then we'll just have... So these aren't going to be internal, strictly speaking. They're going to kind of face inward, but they're not going to... They will be... Like, the flames will be visible. They will be shooting outward once I get this together. And this is going to move slightly. So that's what I'm thinking. And then also these ones here. And we're just going to let the braking thrusters be these large ions because I think they can handle it. But then this gives us a little bit of upwards and downwards additional thrust. And actually, maybe I shouldn't do so many up and down. But, I don't know, we'll see. Can't help but notice that those side to... Oh, there they go. Now they're going. Okay. Yeah, it's definitely handling a lot better. You know, ships just feel better in this game. You know, once you get them pretty solid, they just feel better. And I am curious how long the battery would last on this. Yeah, with this many ions. What kind of sandwich are you eating, Fuse? Oh. Well, I did not mean to do that. That was my braking thrust. I was going to pull a maneuver. Oh, creative mode giveth and creative mode taketh away. Are the parts still there somewhere? At least? I should be able to recover this pretty easily. If we could just come to a stop. Hey, Space OSHA. You got here just in time for me to smash a ship into stuff. At least I didn't blow the whole ship up. Now I have a reason to have a welder. Let's grab an area welder, Mark 1. And we'll just repair. I'm assuming that was repairing. Yes. Repair the whole thing, please. Anything else? Everybody good over here? Okay. Alright, well. Okay, well that was nice. That was, Rev is a sassy goose. I said that out loud. Okay, well, you know what? We could also throw another one of these things right there, too. I think that I might need to, do a... Here's what I'm gonna do. Where are we? Right there. Alright, I don't remember what the command is to initiate a partial copy. We're going to go look it up. I'm going to see if I can look it up before someone says it in chat. Partial copy. Okay. copy grid, cut grid. Hold on, wait a minute. How do you initiate partial copy, though? Partial copy, change selection size. All right. Wait. Percent. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Symmetry, free placement. Partial copy. Right, right. Yeah. That part I get. Activate partial copy. Control P. Okay. I beat you all for everybody who was trying to figure that out. So, all right. Let's see. There we go. No. Oh, no. I hit tab. All right. Let's see. We want to go. I need to move myself here. So we need to go this way. Hold on. This way. This way. That's close enough. This way. I think that covers the whole thing. And then confirm and flip it. And then repaired. Beautiful. I love partial copy. All right, put those back on. Are we missing anything else that fell off? I have no idea. I'm going to put one of those there. Let's see. Can't tell if anything fell off or if it just... Oh, yeah, we lost... all of our bottom thrusters. And this entire connecting tube. And also a bunch of blocks that were on the bottom. Not a terribly large amount of blocks, but let's see if we can repair this here. You know what we could do is just like take this out and then rebuild it as I'm looking at it. Okay, that part is still there. Nah, this will be easy enough to do. Pretty sure we did that, and then that, and then it's just, nope, that, and I'm assuming one of these. And then I don't know what I was going to do with the rest of this. Presumably fill that in later. Oh, wait a minute. What is this? Does this thing tell me what I'm looking at here? Not the area welder. The area welder doesn't. Not well enough. Give me a regular welder here for a second. Light armor, slope, corner. Yeah, okay. Good. Alright, so then that makes sense. We just had a... Or we could have done a... There we go. One of them's. And I guess while I'm down here, I will try and fill up the rest of this. So this is a interesting. That's a half. Is that a real slope or is that a half slope? Yeah, there we go. Okay. Then what did I do? What did I do? I should put gyroscopes down here instead of bothering to have them up here. Because then we could take these thrusters and pull them in more. Yeah. I like it. I like it. I'm going to take one of those out. Actually, no, I'm going to take that one out. Then we'll put our... That's battery. Put our gyros. Maybe I'll even put them up there. I'll do 4 of them. Give me even more space. Space. There we go. Alright, then we still have all of this space. What did I do up here? Did I just put the wrong block in there? I did. There we go. Alright, and what do I have to do right here? This was a... Is that just a... Is that just one of these? Yep. No. Close. But no. Oh, I remember what I did here. This is the half block. Actually kind of looks cool, though. But no, this is the half block. So we did... we took... that. There we go. We can do that. Now, what's the bottom, the actual bottom of this? What's it going to look like? What are we going to do for the actual bottom here? We'll fill that part in. I'm thinking... We'll do this. I think we'll do a full block, otherwise the back is going to look weird. So we'll do it a full block tall. Run back to, I don't know, we'll run back to there. And then, what's the rest of this going to look like? Should be able. Just kind of do the usual. Let's see. Do we want that to be like that? Like, do I want it to be so flat? Kind of. Then the guns stick out a little bit. Okay. I like that. I think then that we will continue this pattern a bit to there. Run this down. And do the same deal. Except I started in the wrong spot. Now, I started with the wrong block there, but do I like that better? That there's a little flat spot there. The answer is no. Oh, I can hear that wind howling. Yep, I didn't mean to do that. There we go. I can hear that wind howling. Then... See, I think I do want to kind of follow this out, but not exactly. We come to that little jut right there. So I think we're going to go... I did the same thing again. Yeah, and then I've got this feller. So we can go to there. Let me catch up on chat. Space OSHA, new meds are making me feel different. Not the robot type, but of way... Oh, and not the type when you were on Ritalin as a kid, yeah. Yeah, those are the days. Those are rough days. Is this where I want to go from here? I think I want to start coming in one earlier. Yeah. I don't think we're going to go... I like that. Gives the thrusters a little cutout. And then what we'll do around the thrusters is probably a... something like this. Okay. Alright, okay. Now, up here, I am quite a bit more worried about what this is going to look like. That does look okay, though, I think. It looks substantial. Looks... Now we can add some greebling to it later. You know, probably greeble up on here or into it. Like, we could cut out some pieces and, like, carve some greeble out of it. That's the part where I have to disengage my... I've been in SE1 mode for most of this build, and I got to disengage and do SE2 mode, basically. But here's the part where I want to figure out what we're going to do around these thrusters here. So we could do this. Throw in a detail cube like there. And... oops. Something like that. Now I do want to have the batteries kind of, at least on this side. I don't like how that looks, but yeah, I want to be able to get at those battery cells, which means the other side we will probably just flatten because it's going to look weird on this side. So we'll asymmetry that thing. And that'll just be where the power cells come in and out. Yeah, I need more here. What do I need more of, though? Ooh. Hey, okay. Alright. That is a good point. See, there's blocks in this game that I hadn't even considered using yet. So, I was saying use the small truss block. Put the hole in front of it. Like that. And then, on the other side, I could just fill it in, or we could just leave it. I bet it looks fine, and now the sun is gone. Yeah, we could just leave it like that, I guess. Or I'll fill it in. I'll fill it in on the other side. Let's rotate so I can see what I'm doing again. Yeah. Yeah, that'll work. Right? You can still get in there and pull stuff out, huh? Yep. Cool. Adds a little bit of armor to it, too. So, going across the top here, let me throw two of those on, just to even me out here. And then, I think I want to do these half-ish blocks for most of this. Like I said, this is my greeble mode. This is my pre-greeble mode, basically. Alright, I don't like this. I decided to change that. I know what I want to do here. Just, I don't know if I have the strength to do it. It was that. And then, let's see. Do I want to just leave this? Do I want to try and blend this? Wouldn't be hard. We would just do that. There we go. Carved out a space for the thrusters there. We could even make this, if we had really wanted to, we can make this really blend in. I'm good with that. I'm probably going to go back and re-greeble a bit of that. Yeah, what are we doing? What are we doing here? What is this? How is this going to end up down here? I feel like we're going to somehow meet these two together. Like that. That looks fine. Maybe we could even put another thruster right there, maybe. I think I would rather use the space to try to figure out how to put this together. Yeah. Not what I meant to do. Okay, so this part does need to be thicker because we are going to be filling this in a bit. So this is going to be like this, and we are going to, well, let's see. Yeah, maybe this needs to be, because I feel like this needs to at least be like about that thick going across. Doesn't have to be that shape necessarily yet. Well, I'll figure that out. I feel like that's got to be at least that thick. Which means that I need to have this part be where it all comes together. I don't... Yeah, okay. Yeah. All right. Every time it makes that, like, engine thrust startup noise, I think the ship's just going to take off and fly away without me. Yeah, it looks okay. That would probably look cooler as even, like, a separate color or something. I don't know. See, that comes out further on the bottom than it does on the top. Not sure I like that. But I like how this... Oh, son of a son. Alright. Okay, at least it's even. Now we could do something there. And then what would I do up here? We would just How did I mess that up? Looked so good. And then I goofed that up. Well, I could just fix it. But does fixing it make it look worse? Because it's like less sloped now? I don't know, it feels like it... I mean, I like how sleek that looks, but that just feels too 45 degrees right here. Does it need to go back? Do I need to take this thruster and push it out a little bit more so that we can get a more... I think that's what it needs. I think it's... needs a more... Let me put like a... I might do 2. I'm just giving it something to latch onto here for a moment. Something like that. And then we could take... I don't know if I'm going to like where this ends up, but... Yeah, I think that'll look better. That'll look better. And then we could do a different side thing. Of some sort. I don't know. Did I put that too low? Did I make that lower than it was? No, I didn't. Alright, well, I think I'm gonna call it a day here, but I think we made some good progress. We, completely gave up on the thing we started last time. I don't even remember where I left it. It's up there somewhere. It's hanging off the side of the asteroid somewhere. I think this is going to look good, because it's... You have to remember that we are eventually going to have, like, longer nacelles kind of hanging off the back here, just for funsies. Yeah, so it'll have a bit more of a shape to it. More of a shape. And will it be a good shape? No idea. Will it look better when it's greebled? Yes. And colored. Get some pink going on it. We'll figure out something. I think the body of it here ended up being thicker than I intended because trying to cram the batteries in. So that's one thing I wish I could have done differently, but I don't have a better place to put the batteries. We could have extended it further back, maybe. But either way, I think this is going to look good. I mean, I wasn't trying to go for actual Y-wing, so I think this looks good. I think it looks good. Does it change the way your taste buds function, Space OSHA? Like it just doesn't because I've had that experience like when I get sick and stuff. It's like stuff just tastes bad. Anyway, let me stand on this for a minute. There we go. So, this Sunday, I think I'm streaming this Sunday, even though it's Easter Sunday. I will probably stream something. I don't know what. It's not, I don't think it will be Space Engineers. Maybe I'll do a City Skyline stream or something. I don't know. I think, it's always weird when there's like a holiday, because I know several people will be traveling and they'll be, you know, out late or whatever. And then I know there are also several people who don't celebrate the holiday, and then they're just kind of home and they're looking for some content to watch. So I'm going to stream something. And I don't know what. Just follow my channel, and you will see you will see whatever it is. I don't think I have anything scheduled at the moment. So, next Thursday. Oh, I had a plan for next Thursday. What was it? I think next Thursday I'm doing Titan. Next Thursday I'm going to do an episode of Titan. Thursday after that, we will come back here and we'll probably alternate Thursdays for a bit. And I think that's it. So have a great rest of your week, everybody. And happy Easter to those of you who celebrate. Otherwise, happy spring, I guess, or happy tornado season, early tornado season. Whatever it is, I appreciate you all hanging out with me today, and I will talk to you next time. Take care.